Hey kids, welcome back. Oh, busy day. I wanted to do a build overview of an exceptionally fucking cool build I just did. And I did this for my brother Timber, who's in the Patriot Blades Club. And for those of you that are watching, he's a new guy. And welcome Mark and welcome Todd. Those three cats, known him for a while. Mark, I've known a really long time, and welcome to the club, guys. Anyway, so I was talking with my friend Timber out in Idaho, and he's like, "Oh, I want you to build my dream build for me, right?" So he turns me onto this frame. I ordered the wrong fucking frame, believe it or not, because he wanted the stretched version of this frame. I was thinking something else. He was thinking, blah 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 blah, and but it turned out pretty fucking awesome. Anyway, this is the first 6S build I've ever done. I actually kind of did it by accident at first, and then after I ordered the parts, I'm like, well, fuck me, everything I ordered for this thing's 6S, rock and roll. So, I mean, I snapped quads in half on 4S, so we all know that. Anyhow, so I want to go over this. These props I threw on there, I'm going to change over to a different color for the gallery shots that my Smoking Hot wife's going to do, but you'll get the idea. Bam! This is an exceptionally rare bird, okay? Even if you tried to copy this, and welcome to you if you can, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Timber, I think he said the guys who make this frame, which is Falcon Frames, are stopping production, like they're not going to make frames anymore, which is kind of a shame. This is an amazingly well-engineered frame. I love this fucking thing. Now, let's go over the components first. First, it's a Falcon frame, carbon fiber. It's called a Rosvalg 5-inch, all right? I'll put a link in the description to where you can maybe get one. To my knowledge, there was only 2 left in the country, and I bought one of them. So, yeah, whatever. The carbon thickness on this piggy, what do we got here? 5 mil. Shit, that looks like 6. 6 mil carb. Very freaking nice. Very, very well made. Look at the points on there. It's very, very cool. This canopy is a nylon print. This is actually a white canopy. All right. I did a dye job on it, very similar to how I did Bomb Pop. You guys probably saw Bomb Pop. Phew, that was a white one too. And you basically use clothing dye to dye these things. And my brother Timber is like, oh, I'm thinking black with a purple thing. So I thought, how cool would it be to do a faded purple to darker purple? And then we did black down here, and believe it or not, black right there. So this was like a quadruple dip that I did on this. It was a little tricky to do. The thing that makes this frame, and I'll go over all the components in a minute. The thing that makes this frame a bitch, though, if you're a beginner builder, do not buy this frame. I'm telling you right now, it is tricky, tricky, tricky to do, because the clever thing about this, let me point out the 2 clever things. One, the camera does not screw in. This is really, really cool. Notice there's 3 separate notches. Takes a full-size camera, like a Swift or whatever. You just pop it into location. It does have detents right there and right there where it holds it, but you can go, that's how I would probably fly it, straight up. And then you can detent it down and then detent it down. Damn. And it stays there too, kids. No screws. Very, very clever. I actually ended up mounting the Tyrannus receiver to the back of the camera to save a little room. There's your bind button right there. That's the one thing I really liked about that. The other thing about this, and this is what it's a pro and a con. It's clever. This canopy actually is one piece down to here and goes into the mount. So you actually run the mounting bolts for the boards through the canopy base, and then they give you all these soft mounts for every single board. Now, the Fertini board that I use for the flight control already had them, but they give you a whole bag of them. They give you a bunch of extra screws. This is a great, great kit. This frame is absolutely fucking phenomenal. And I think it's, I can't remember how much it cost. Anyway, look at the link. But yeah, and then you've got room for your strap that goes through here. Bam. And I actually put the VTX under here because you do have a lot of room here. So the VTX 03 is right there under the ESC. And then we're using the, it's a 30, what is that thing? 35 amp all-in-one, or 4-in-1 ESC. And what is that thing? Shit, it's a 6S. Anyway, I can't remember. And then we got the Fortini. ESC's an ESC, you know, but it is 6S. And then we got the Fortini F4 OSD. Be careful with this. There are two Fortini flight controllers. One is $32 and one is $40. The one for $40 is the one you want probably because it has OSD. This is my new favorite board. The Fortini and the CL Racing are kind of my main go-tos right now. So yeah, very, very tight fit. And then you can see the canopy actually bolts to the frame bolts here. But the whole system ends up being soft mounted. Very, very clever. But the bitch of it is you actually have to build the fucker inside out because you can't solder through the canopy. So what I ended up doing is I ended up soldering the boards together, the camera harness, the VTX, all that stuff outside the bird. Then you have to run the bolts through the canopy base, bend the canopy back, position your boards in, put it down, and bolt your canopy down. And then you have to bolt it down the right order. You have to bolt down the fronts first, then the rears. And I do strongly suggest you use Loctite on that. Yeah, so pretty fucking... It's a really cool looking frame. It's very, very light. It's well thought out. It is brilliantly thought out, but you better be relatively skilled because you don't want all your wires and shit hanging out. I got one right there. Bam, we'll fix that. And it's tricky. You really have to kind of think about it quite a bit before you put it in. The Fortini fits, the flight controller fits really cool. You can't even see it from the top. I mean, that thing's a tiny little flight controller. Far view, of course, custom Jason Noodle. The motors, I love these frickin' motors. These are the, I just did an overview of these. These are the AMAX. These are made in Germany. 2305, 2550 kV 2 to 6S. I ran them on the bench. It's raining like a bitch outside. They are smooth as freaking glass. I love them. I cannot wait to pop test and try this bird out. And look at the overview video that I did on those. Very, very, very sharp. Did my little Jason heat shrink twist on there. The props I'm going to lose. I don't like those. The one thing I didn't love about this frame was the fact that there's really no good antenna mounting solution for your antenna. So I did what everybody else usually does. I use little zip strips and then multi-heat shrinked and then capped them. I don't like doing it that way, but yeah, it serves its purpose. It works. But I mean, this is a skeletal frame. There's nothing to it. And then there's a place for the battery strap, like I said. Absolutely phenomenal. I love this bird. I'm sad to see it go. It's really cool. So let's see what the scale that tells no lies says about it. I haven't even weighed it yet. Let's see what happens. Doom, doom, doom. 290. It actually came out heavier than I thought. Part of that is those propellers are kind of not what I would use. They're a little wider. But yeah, I mean, it's really thick carbon. I think it's almost too thick. I think if they would have went, I mean, if you're going for a racing style frame that really has low wind resistance on it, I probably would have gone with like a 3 or 4 mil. It would have lightened it up and it would have brought down to about 250 probably. The Fortini is exceptionally light. The flight control, the ESC is an ESC. There's really no added weight on this bird whatsoever as far as my end of things. And basically where that weight is coming from. And even the motors are light. I think they're 30 grams a pop, something like that, 32. But the carbon fibers, like I said, it's thick. And you got some long steel bolts through there. It is what it is. Trust me when I say, you put a 6S on this, you're doing the speed of light. I mean, this is a monster truck of a fucking bird. I absolutely love it. I personally don't have one. Like I said, this is going to a club member that I just built for him as a favor. But yeah, it's just fucking beautiful. So hopefully I will be able to get a pop test in on this tomorrow and a little bit of a flight video. I'm not going to beat on it. I'm not putting a 6S in it. But yeah, it's I got to test these motors. These things are just somebody made a comment on the review that I did on the motors that they look like hype trains, and they really, where's my hype train? Number 2's got the hype trains. They do a little bit. I mean, but the hype train has 3 struts. I mean, these are very different. They're made in a totally different country. They're German, you know. And I love the hype trains, don't get me wrong. So that's kind of what I'm going to base them off of. But these are also 6S, so we're going to see what happens. So anyway, there is Icarus. That's what we named him. We named him Icarus. Very, very fucking cool birds of timber. I'll be shipping this puppy out probably on Saturday because I need to do all the checks on it to make sure everything's copacetic. Bam! Keep shiny side up, kids, and let me know what you think about this bird. It's just pretty cool. Take care. Bye.
Bam, JJ!
Hope you like fishing. Bam, JJ!
Hey, JJ! Hope you like fishing.